Hello and welcome to All About the Gers podcast. Great result yesterday, and I've got two special guests. Well, one's Derek one's Derek and one's Stuart here again. It was great to have you on again, Stuart.
There's not a chance I'm a special guest here, by the way.
You're actually sitting in the good side and all.
He's looking well on that top.
I know we'll go into that top in a wee minute, but I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors first. We've got Plugged In IT Solutions, DB Dental Care, ISG Resin Flooring Specialists, and Giant Sea Architectural. Whew.
Can I ask you a question?
Aye.
Why have you got a green top on?
It's a washed out grey. It's a washed out grey.
Sure.
I'm listening.
That is green. That's no grey.
You look like the thing that's out of Sesame Street. What's that?
I know you won't mind me saying this, but my eyes are a wee bit younger than the pair of these, and that's fucking green, boy.
Think so?
Aye. As soon as I clocked it, I'm thinking that's green.
That's grey.
Maybe it's just in his like we're just anything that's that kind of colour. It's just instantly.
Do you know what is, Stuart, about that top? It's actually very vibrant on the screen, isn't it?
Listen, you'll probably catch myself just looking that way every now and then, because this is the first time I've seen me wearing it. So I just got off my pal just before I got here.
You're a hardy boy. It's -2 out there.
Listen, I'll be wanting to be back down the road in this.
It's the fact that he's got the matching shorts on, I know.
And the socks and the shin guards. Honestly, I'm waiting for a call up here, boys.
Right. No, but thanks again for coming on, Stuart, because I know you've been really, really busy with your show.
Anytime, mate. Honestly, I really enjoyed the last time I was on.
How's it going? Because I've seen you on social media and there was a problem with tickets. You had to phone everybody.
Nightmare, mate. I can hardly explain it to myself, but I'll do the best I can in 10 seconds. So we done a pre-sale. So first and foremost, we started this with no money at all. No money at all. And I had this idea where I wanted to write a Rangers show, and I knew for a fact it was going to go well. And I get advice off other people who wrote shows and they're like, take it around places first, take it around the wee towns. And I'm like, no, it's that guy. Going for the big place. Straight off it back, you know what I mean? That's the way he's going, by the way, I'll tell you that right now. You just need to stand outside and you can hear it. But so what we done is we went to Armadillo and listen, for us to fund this, can we sell an X amount of tickets on their own? No, I no bother at all. So they gave me 1,000 tickets to sell them myself, and I would get the money, and that money was used to put the thing on. But we see, because we sold out in 4 minutes, it completely crashed the site. So see the bank that we were using. So it goes from buying a ticket for the ticket company to the bank to me. So when the bank caught wind of who's this guy?
What's going on?
Why is there £20,000 just went into your bank account in 4 minutes, pal? And I had to set up. This is a brand new business, so I had to set up a brand new business for us. Right. So Stuart Hay Productions. So they came back to me like, "Can you give us the last 6 months of your business?" I went, "No,
just started.
There isn't." So they're like, "What the fuck are you?" But listen, we gave them everything. Listen, there's SCCC, there's everything, there's the lot. This is a legitimate thing. They went like, "No, not at all." Refunded everybody. So we're like, right, fine, we'll deal with that. Done it again. So we set up a second one. Same thing happened. But because it's now happened twice, we are fighting the bit with them. I went and bought myself a lawyer, the lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what's this is the fishy thing, and I'll guess where their headquarters are? Dublin. So there's something going on there, by the way. There's something going on here.
His price will be Dublin, by the way.
So this is what we're doing now. So at the moment in time right now, so I haven't got myself a lawyer. So he's away fighting it, going, first of all, why did you refund everybody? And second of all, see if you're going to refund them, go and do it, because they haven't yet. So that money's still sitting in this bank account, nobody moving, and all my days are just people saying what's going on. So I took it upon myself. By the way, and here's another thing, you'll be hard to find somebody who's sold out the Armadillo where you can phone them and ask them what's going on.
Phone Peter Kane.
Exactly, you can't. So I phoned everybody, phoned every single one of them. Took me 5 hours, phoned every single one of them just to explain to them what was going on.
That's good, isn't it?
5 hours. My head's still in him. But then the issue was that I used my own private number.
How many people? How many people are right? So it is.
No, 100%. No, because what would happen is I'd phone people up, and people were like, "You're at it, right?" And then a couple of minutes, or some people would be like, "I ain't no bother at all." And then a couple of minutes later, I'd get a message through my Facebook saying, I just got a phone call for Stuart Hay. I'm going, it's me. So not only did I phone everybody, and then I had to message them all again to say, it was me. Honestly, it's only been a month. So it's been 1 month. I feel as if I've been dealing with this for about 2 years. So anybody that's watching this, we're on top of it. The show's still all right. You'll enjoy it.
And I'm asking you for a favour.
We'll come to that favour another day. I don't know if we can talk about that favour online.
No.
That didn't sound right either.
That's it.
But sure, talking more about your play as well. Is it a play or is it a show?
It's a show. I mean, it's a show. Like you say, it's you could even. It's not a musical. It's not a play. It's literally just a show. It's hard to explain. This is the first time I've ever done anything. It's the first time I've ever wrote anything like that. So I've wrote what I would love to see. If I was a Rangers fan or a football fan or anything like that at all, and somebody wrote a show about my football team and my experiences with my football team, this is how I would want it to do it. I wouldn't want to sit and watch an hour and a half of singing and dancing, something like that. There's bits and bobs of that in it. You know what I mean?
So, did a flute band?
Oh, there's a flute band. Oh, I thought you were organising that. I thought you were organising that.
That's your auntie's department.
You trying to tell me you've not booked a flute band yet?
See the amount of times I've been asked after you were on the last time when you were like, Ricki, who can tell it's a good float band and which I was like,
I know that because my dad always say the same, like, because he would drag me to the walks and all that carry on. And my dad used to be in the walks back in the day, and I don't know if he still does it. It's been a long time since I've went with him, but you used to like go with your pals, and that was it. And then at night time, so they do it twice where I'm from. They do it in the morning, then they do it again at night. So I'd go over in the morning with my dad and all that, right? And then later on in the day, you're away with your pals getting a drink and stuff like that, and you'd come back at night and you'd see my dad walking along with him. You know what I mean? But it's still just normal gear. He still thinks he's in the bands. He'd walking right down the street post. I try to grab his arm.
Right, but you're starting rehearsals, is it next week, yeah?
Week a day. This is it. No turning back now. This is it. Now you get it done.
So you're the main man? Are you going to be telling everybody what to do, or have you got a...
No, I've got a team. So I've got a team of people. So what I done when I done the rally around the Rangers at the Pavilion, when I had this idea of I was going to put a show on, knowing full well I didn't have a clue how to put a show on. I just sat back and I was like, right, what do you do? What do you do? So all these stage managers and directors and all this carry on, I was just like, then as soon as that show finished, I just grabbed them and can I do my show? And why? So everybody apart from myself is very professional. every aspect of this show apart from the boy who wrote it knows what he's doing. Right?
So it's father and son.
Father and son. So father and son story over the past 10 years.
What age is the boy roughly?
I'd say my age. You know what I mean? It's based on me and my dad. Well, I've wrote it with me and my dad in mind, but it's every father and son. You know what I mean? And as I say, I think I says the last time as well. I've got a pal who I used to go to a lot of the games with. It was him and his dad, and they were thick and thin. They were rain, sleet, snow, regardless. Especially when we were even down there in the bottom leagues, away to see like he's Stirling and all that. When it was, minus 10, and they're still away. So it's based around them, but I've wrote the character around my dad because my dad's a bigger character. The son character's mid-20s to early 30s. I mean, mid-20s, early 30s. The dad's about between 50 and 70. I mean, it's tried to be for everybody like a big net, so everybody can sit there and go, I know exactly who you're talking about. That's my dad. That's my uncle. I mean, even though it's a father and son, I mean, it's still the same story for a mother and a daughter. I mean, so that there's female characters in it that are just as much that story as the father and son. You know what I mean? So it really shows it's a full circle of life, and every family member's involved in Rangers and football and Rangers was their life and how the past 10 years affected and how they got out the other end of it. But there's a few twists in it, I can't tell you.
Aye.
I know they'll be bring the hankies, big man. Bring the hankies, boy.
He greets it in, by the way.
I get a bit emotional.
You'll be a bother him,
as you get older, you get.
I don't know how many times I've seen him in tears in Seville, and that was just the flight. That was just the flight going over.
No, that's because it was with you.
Anyway,
24/7.
Well, we're looking forward to it with Derek. I think me, you, Charlie, and Ian's maybe going to go. Yes. Well, we're definitely going. Charlie's definitely going. Ian's typically never replies to my text.
It's just.
So if you're watching Ian,
you'll miss out on this, boy. I'll tell you that.
He's your old custard pie. I'm sure he'll go. You're Saturday night. You're going.
It's Saturday night.
So it's Friday and Saturday.
So it's Friday the 3rd and Saturday the 4th of February. Yeah. 2 weeks on Friday it starts. 2 weeks on Friday.
Oofed.
I know. Not even kicked the ball yet.
I'm not even... see, you're going to laugh at this, but when I was younger, like kind of 15, 16, I played in a wee band, right? We used to write all our own tunes. Aye. I can always remember, the first time you played it in front of people, you'd be fucking shitting yourself. Aye. God knows what you're going to like.
It's not kicked in yet, really, hasn't it?
Because as you say, you've been straight to the top. You're not just doing a wee social club or anything.
Right up there. That was another thing at all. That was there was a lot of people who didn't realise how big the idea it was. And I remember my local Rangers pub's a pub called Carson's, and I'm sitting down and I'm talking to the bar woman, a tiny pub, Derek, right? And I'm telling her all about it. She's like, do it down here. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, do it down here. We'll just move the seats. I know, boy. I mean, that's things have massive production. I'm just sitting going, I know, you're right. I just move the seats. We'll be fine.
Well, we can't wait.
I think if you think about it too much, overthink it, then it can get to you. But you just got to try and, just what you're saying, I know it means a lot to you, but you've got to enjoy it. And that's what we'll do.
It's the same as yourself. What you like when you're playing in front of how many thousand?
I know, and that's what you tend to forget. That's why you do all the training. That's why you're all the sacrifices. But sometimes people, I think they forget that why we play football. We're there to enjoy it, and soak all that up. You're talking about
the exact same thing.
Soak it in and enjoy it. You know, sometimes the kind of nerves can get the better of you.
I know. I get nervous doing this because I never know what used to or what I'm going to do to me. Right, we're going to talk about football now.
Absolutely.
And you know what's funny? Because one of my first questions was actually what John Keane has just asked. So John Keane saying, what do you think of the state of the pitch yesterday? No game should have been played in it, especially ever just 24 hours after another semi-final. And also what about the tackle about Fashion Junior? But we'll come to Fashion Junior later. But I mean, that pitch, why do we need to play a game on the Saturday and one on Sunday? How can we not space it out?
But even as well as that, you know, even if you look at the game the night before, you know, the pitch wasn't even good night. Now, in this day and age, with all the technology, why is that part not covered? Now, you see, I know, you see down at Wimbledon, all that rain comes to cover it. Now, if you've got 2 games in 2 days on, and that's your national stadium, everybody's focusing in on that, down in England, and they'll take a look at that and go, what's going on there? It was an absolute cow field.
Do you know, as you know, we're in the Partick Thistle football stadium.
Elite.
And do you know the guys were actually covering that today?
I was in Ibrox today and the pitch is covered.
But then they've learned their lesson, because where we are at the minute, you're talking about Thistle's ground, they were ground sharing as well, so that killed the part. But they've learned their lessons. But that part should have been, they know the weather forecast, so cover it. But if that's the case, in that Hampden, can he take the 2 games, then that game shouldn't have been played there at Hampden. It should have been, I don't know, so Murrayfield. I know you talk about obviously getting fans in and all that, but Murrayfield maybe kind of fits that criteria. But that's an absolute shambles in that part. That shouldn't happen, because see, at the end of the day, Stuart, a football part like that is a leveller. So it's big time. And as well, the players, you know, see the training parts that they train on, and they play. They're like billiard tables.
Immaculate.
So they're not used to that.
No.
And I just think that's an absolute. But by the way, it was an absolute sham, wasn't it?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Derek. You're saying, like, that's the National Stadium. Right, and listen, contrary to belief, I'm not an expert on groundkeeping. But I'd like to think the people who are in charge of the National Stadium know, listen, we need to get this up to scratch, and they know exactly how to get it up to scratch. Don't get me wrong. 2 games played in a short space of time with some horrendous weather. I totally get that. But for the National Stadium, that should be water off a duck's back, pardon the pun. You know what I mean? But what was it? It was a bog. It was an absolute bog.
I think we've seen some ducks on it.
You better.
But the thing is, if they know, because you'll get a rough idea that they would know if the weather is bad, hey, and we're in January, so there's a good chance it's going to be bad. So the 2 games, the 2 semi-finals shouldn't have been played there. We shouldn't have been on a surface like that. It should have been moved to somewhere like Murrayfield, and then just get back to it, because it is a leveller, a part like that. But at the end of the day, we're not good. But hey, what about the other one? We're talking about it's an absolute sham. The VAR.
No, we had the conspiracy. It's good for the conspiracy theories. I've been enjoying them.
Jesus.
I know. I seen somebody saying this. Somebody said today they never put any money in the VAR meter.
You're putting it on the head. It is mad. People, exactly what you're saying. It's supposed to be. People say that. He's like, we've got a good product here, we need to show it in the best light, and we're not doing that, especially yesterday. And it's completely and utterly embarrassing for outsiders to put that game on, big, massive game in Scotland. They're seen as playing down some council park, by the looks of it, and then the VAR goes off. You know what I mean? That was a good 15, 20 minutes where they're messing about with that. But I do love the conspiracy stuff. That always makes me laugh.
It was bad already, but it got even worse last night.
Even worse. But the full thing was, like, even with the Kilmarnock game with Celtic, I mean, Kilmarnock should have had a penalty. Blatant penalty. You know what I mean? Blatant penalty. And I said this the other day as well. Like, they're all sitting saying, there's an agenda, there's all this VAR. They just had quite possibly one of the biggest decisions in the game go their way, and what is it, a 93rd minute chance for the other team to equalise in a semi-final of a cup, and it went their way. Every single notion of their agenda should be completely through the window. But then 24 hours later, that VAR's went down. They're at it, by the way.
It's dodgy.
That decision was laughable. Aye. I mean, it doesn't even need to go to the monitor, the VAR. We Willie call him. Come on, mate. There's a favour. You know, you're only 15 yards for it. Aye. It's clear and obvious that it's a foul and it's in the box. Mm-hmm. What does that mean, Willie? It's a penalty. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're actually maybe the way the things are now with the VAR, because they're all getting pushed into technology. Are referees scared to put their opinion on it and say, no, I'm the referee, that's what's happening? But are they worried about it?
But then if the VAR, they're in his ear, they obviously be like that, Willie. Get yourself out of the monitor. You need to go and have a look at that, mate. Do
you know what's strange? I don't know why I done it the other day, but I actually thought, I wonder what happens if the VAR breaks down. And they've actually got it in the rules and it tells you what happens. You carry on, but you need to go and talk to 2 managers, explain what's happened. Then you need to go to 2 captains and explain what's happened. You know, and Tom Miller for Rangers TV said, you know, I mean, we should be all right. We've only been playing football for 140 years.
You think we know what we're doing by now? I know, but we invented the game.
They looked shocked, but didn't they? Anyway, but apart from that, I mean, I thought Rangers started really good. The first 15 minutes.
First 15 minutes were just absolutely battering them down. But again, I think we spoke about this last time we were on as well. Like, that's all very well and good, but unless that ball goes in the back of the net, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So we need that end product, and we weren't getting it. And then look what happens. They go down the park and they score. Don't get me wrong, the goal was offside, but that's how quickly things can change. You know what I mean?
Well, the first one was close. I think it was about a foot offside. Easy. But the second one, I know, Derek, you're not a big fan of Barisic. Or it comes and goes, doesn't it? But he frustrates you. But
very much so.
And you said you missed the first half. Have you seen the goal?
I know. I've got to come clean because Bologna were playing. So I watched the first, what was it, 8-9 minutes of the game. And you're right, Stuart, we started really well. And we haven't been starting games well. So I've obviously watched the Bologna game, the second half of that. So I missed a good bit yet. But the goal, when I went and watched it back, I went, my God, you know, you talk about I think it's unprofessional, you know, and it's like, you're switching off. That's one thing, you know, you cannot do it. And, you know, like, initially, he's offside. But then the boys we know, was it Miovski just peels away, and then Kennedy is just battering forward. Come on.
It's that old
we're
saying,
better than that.
100%, Derek. But it's that old saying, and it is cliche, but one of the first things you get taught when you learn to play football is play the whistle. Play the whistle. Play the whistle. I mean, it's the most schoolboy thing ever, and that's what never happened yesterday. They've seen, I think he's offside. 2 of them just stopped. Boy, right through the middle. That was it. Slipped. Can't help that.
And when I saw, when I realised at half time it's 1-0 to them, you know, and it took us back of good old, what was it, 4 years, you know, semi-final when we dominated an Aberdeen side, but it beat us 1-0. Lewis scored me that with 10 minutes ago. He got a do.
What was the conversation when he got home that night, by the way?
By the way, and Stuart, it was brilliant because I was sitting with my 2 other boys, right, who are Rangers staff. Seeing he come into the house, and I think he was quite happy.
Right up his stair.
You're grounded.
He get blank. No, he walked out, the only one was his mammy. Get up and we were like,
that's actually a question I've always wanted to ask you.
Certainly Darren Maldus, he was seizing him. He did blank him. He fell out with him. So he did big time.
Because I know, like, you get your Andy Hallidays and stuff like that, and his brothers and stuff like coming from a Rangers family, and then obviously moving to Hearts and things like that. But I don't. Has Andy ever scored against Rangers?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
Stick out to the ice.
I don't think
we'll do a wee competition. Has Andy scored against Rangers?
Whoever can tell me wins a ticket to the show.
Oh, there you go. Google it. In fact, you can come with us and all.
There you go.
Have a wee. In fact, do you remember I said a couple of weeks ago, remember we done a wee Christmas party and one of the girls won the raffle. She's coming on the show next week.
Excellent.
So
that's good.
That'll be interesting.
They chose to have their Christmas party, Ricki and Charlie, on a Friday night. We were going down to Earth to do a wee gig. But no knowing that. Well, they did know. I'm working the next day. So I can't.
You didn't get it?
No.
Listen, we'll get Philly on the Saturday, big man. Don't you worry about that.
I was taxing them about, so I was. You ought to see the nick of them that night. They had a great time. So did I. Up to a point. And I was out the trap door, man.
Thing is, Charlie just let slip last week, didn't he? What did he say to us? we thought Charlie had just started drinking at like 7 o'clock or something.
7 o'clock the night before.
1 o'clock, he says he'd kicked off at 1 o'clock. I was like,
because Derek picked him up and he says, "Listen, I'm just having a pint." And he thought, "All right, I'll just wait. Let's finish a pint." He didn't realise that was about his 8th pint. I can fairly handle his drink work, can't he?
There he goes.
Anyway, right. Still talking about the Rangers game. You're right. We shouldn't be making silly mistakes, but I think we've been making a lot of silly mistakes, and that's how we've been losing goals.
See the game, and seeing we've started well, then we kind of faded away a wee bit. But for most, we have controlled the game. I was just looking for the complete package, Stuart. Right. Wanted to go start well, which we did, but just dominate that game.
100%.
And we didn't. But semi-finals, we all get that. It's just all about the victory. But I'm not going to come back to. I think the reason that we didn't totally dominate that game was down to the condition. Down to that park. So it does play its part.
The ball was sticking.
And it's no, people go, I might go, you're just making an excuse. I'm telling you, that is a leveler. But no, they controlled it for most part, and then the sending off is it's by the way, that was an assault.
I'm seeing people defend that. There's people defending that. Michael Stuart.
Aye, I've got a wee clip, by the way. I don't know what planet Michael's on trying to defend. That was absolutely scandalous, and it's quite scary because of Sakala's foot is planted. If he takes that, it's a split second. Aye. He doesn't just break his leg. That could be the crucial, a horrendous injury. Aye. That was. You talk about excessive force. Unbelievable. That was verging on an assault. That was shocking. The boy knew exactly
what he was doing.
Exactly.
He was losing the rag of full game by that boy.
He had intent to hurt Sakala, and you see some challenges and you go, I was a bit clumsy. No, that was intent to hurt, to put damage.
There was no need for him to do it.
No, definitely not.
But that's what I'm saying, Ricky, and he chose because, see, like Sakala, there's nothing, he can't even protect himself, Stuart, the way he is, because he's running with the ball and he's coming in for the side. There's intent to do serious damage to the boy. And they get one red card. See that for me? That's 2 or 3 reds. You should be sin-died for that. I think it's a shocker. Absolute shocker, a challenge.
What did McInnes say about it? I never heard anything after it.
No, good one.
Good one. I'm going to be back
about 4. I'm going to be back to when this started. When McInnes played with this started.
Don't you turn up at the Hydro? Remember you're at the Armadillo?
Fucking Dunblane Hydro, that's what it's because I was like a big Kilmarnock.
No, Goodwin acknowledged that it was a silly challenge. I think you could even tell his words that he used. But I'm telling you, that was a player played the game. We all play the game. That's when you're trying to inflict damage on somebody. You're trying to hurt him.
Well, you nearly caught me out there. I was like, McInnes.
No, listen, I just say that completely. Like, I was sitting in my head going, "Hey, McInnes."
I know my day, like, can they check my stats and things like that? So I was like,
here, good one get a bit.
I was a wee bit lost there, but good thing you see with Sakala, he still gets up and had a big smile on his face.
One of the great points about Beale being back is see what he's getting out of him. It's as if he's a brand new signing again, and he's getting full 90 minutes. When was the last time Sakala got a full 90 minutes in a Rangers start?
Even Kent started to. I mean, Kent was probably one of the best players on the pitch yesterday.
But he done one thing yesterday. He done my head in. I don't know if you can remember it. It was like the last maybe 10 minutes of the game, 50 minutes of the game. He's belting towards goal, then he tries to do a wee fancy turnover and then knocks the ball behind him.
Sure, that's a kind of
probably tripped over one of the ducks.
That's one of the kind of criticisms I've got about Kent, because see the goal he scored against Celtic. There was no step overs. It was just a wee dip of the shoulder and knew exactly where he was going to put it. So you don't need all these step overs. No. We know you can do it. We know you've got that in your locker. We know you're a clever player, a skillful player. Just do it right.
100%.
Aye, but Sakala, I think with Sakala and Kent, we're talking about what Beale has done. I don't think there's a huge difference in the way we play, but what he's allowed them is that freedom. I think under Van Bronckhorst, if Sakala was playing, he was playing in a certain position, in a certain role, same with Kent, but he's just let them off the leash a wee bit. Aye. Go and roam, get yourself on.
Do you know what? I wish you'd do more than that. They're still too predictable. They're still going down the wings and crossing it in, whereas Kent and Sakala are starting to come in a wee bit, and I think they need to do it more.
Who bought Sakala? Was it Gerrard? Or did he come in with Gio? There's another question. You want another ticket? You can tell us.
You've caught me. You've caught me at the nice chair, man.
Yeah, that's it. So maybe if he came in with Gerrard and with Beale, maybe Beale knew exactly how to use them, and obviously Gio didn't. And that's what we're seeing here, because honestly, it's night and day. I mean, there was times last season where people were probably calling for Sakala. Sakala was probably going down the same road as some of the players that weren't getting a look in at all. Sakala was a bit player. He was one of the guys who were going, I can't have a wage bill. But now we're actually seeing him as if, like, he's somebody who could maybe turn this league round. He's somebody who could win his games and win his cups. I mean, look the penalty he got against Celtic, getting himself in these positions, look the goals he's scoring.
I think he's getting better.
He's limited.
I think he's getting stronger.
He's limited in terms of, but what he does bring to the table is that enthusiasm, that pace. He's direct, and at times, he's got an eye for goal as well. So, but he just says it. He plays with a smile on his face, and that was always
the happiest guy ever.
And that was a criticism I had at Kent under Van Bronckhorst. I was looking at Kent and saying he's not enjoying himself, but certainly you can see he's enjoying himself under Beale. That's what.
Yeah, we're still going to keep on talking about the Rangers Aberdeen game, but there's a wee question come up. Can you read that?
No,
Alex Rogers.
I need my glasses.
Alex Rogers saying, ask Stu if it's brown or white toast.
That's one.
That's one you need.
What's this here?
No, it's one.
It's a story.
It's a story I tell.
We'll tell you about it after. But obviously, Alex has been to one of our shows before.
And he knows exactly.
What am I getting myself in for here? Alex messages me.
Sounds like a dodgy party, doesn't it? But Ryan Jack.
I'm just throwing you here tonight.
Pickle my brain.
The two of them are brilliant.
They were good, weren't they? And Ryan Jack, same way the game against Celtic and all, he was brilliant, So.
Do you all that? Carry on.
I'm
loved
just
it. Absolutely.
Is there going to be any of that in the play?
Oh, mate, it's chock full of it. Listen, this is as legalised a sash bash as you can get, my man. Let's be upfront and honest with us.
That's how you start the show, just kiss the badge.
That's all it is. Honestly, see some of the stuff. The whole thing with this show is get it done and get out there before anybody realises what we've done. Right, we'll deal with the police and everything after it. Right,
so you turning the hydro orange or blue?
This is the thing.
I know, I've seen you commenting about it.
So the thing is, so the hydro and armadillo, they're always green, right? They're always green because it's the oval hydro, and oval is green. So we've had this conversation with them, and we'll see where we go. But they can't have it green. They know that themselves, but again, it's out with my hands. They just better have good buildings insurance. That's all I say to them.
But Ryan Jack, he's brilliant, and he's like kissing the badges, passion, everything.
Especially
he's fit and healthy, and it just shows you what he's capable of. And do you know something? Did you not get the sense he was always going to be up for that? See, when he came out, because it's Aberdeen.
It's Aberdeen,
and the stick that he gets for them is unbelievable. You just knew he was going to be focused. And it's not just played the 90 minutes. That's extra time on a heavy part. So whatever issue that he's had with his calf, he looks to have overcome it, thankfully. But no, when he's at it, he's a top player for us, that's for sure.
How good was it to see keep my Roof back, Stuart? And then unfortunately,
you've just took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to mention Roof as well. Listen, I said last night, I was like, is the boy made of glass or something like that, right? But exactly what we were saying, heavy pitch, you're coming down, hard landings, getting hard tackles off players that are a wee bit disgruntled and stuff like that. Listen, the big man came on and seen 20 minutes, he scored the winner. You know what I mean? He scored the winner, so you can't ask any more for him. But I want to have him on the pitch. I want to have him there all the time, because he can do that. He showed that a million times. He goes against Celtic, goes in Europe. He's a poacher. I mean, he's an absolute instinct killer striker. He's a McCoist. So we need that. I mean, Alfie's not doing it anymore. You're lucky if you actually see Alfie floating about the box anymore, or if he is, he's not getting a shot and goal or any of that kind of. You need somebody like Roof to be at the end of these. He's making these smart runs, and he's coming into the back post and getting in between defenders, but he's injured all the time. And as I say, what was that? He broke his arm? Is that what it is?
It's been assessed. He's getting a scan.
Isn't he? The good thing, it's not dislocated. If it's dislocated, then you're in soapy bubble.
That's what we thought.
You've had two of them, haven't you?
Oh, I'd done the two shooters when I was.
I seen that when he was sunbathing next to me. Showing me all his scars and all that.
Sometimes ask me about these scars. Where did you get them? I just used to say I used to put a rucksack on and just run up the hills and all that. See, you're talking about Roof. He's probably technically your most gifted forward. Arguably, I think he's a better finisher than Morelos. Sholak, I don't know, there's a wee debate to be had.
When's he back as well, by the way? Sorry for jumping in there.
No.
Who's that, sorry?
Sholak. It's that green jumper, by the way.
You're having to multitask.
I know, I was having to read something.
On your toe there.
I'm trying to look at what's coming in and reading the questions, and then I wasn't actually listening to you were in there.
Well, but then, because you look at Sakala, you look at Morelos, obviously Sholak, and then Roof.
Right.
And I think probably Roof is probably technically the best out of the lot of them. But, you know, he's
got that instinct. He's got that instinct to be at the right place at the right time.
It's like everybody. We're rocking at. There's a sigh when you saw him hurting himself and you're going, oh, no, again. You know, so you feel for him.
100%.
You know,
And he looked genuinely scunnered, didn't he?
And I tell you who else will feel for him. I bet you the boys in the dressing room, they'll be absolutely gutted for him. But hey, listen, he's done his bit. He's come on. I mean, it was a brilliant run for Wright, wasn't it? You know,
I was going to speak about Wright. He's fantastic.
Talk about him, man. What's your take?
Love him. I honestly thought, like, even when he came in with Gerrard, like, I don't think he got his moment. He never got his moment. And when he ever got on the park, he played out his skin. There was he always had these moments of absolute brilliance. I mean, look at that. See if you watched that goal, that Roof goal last night, turns the boy inside out and then leaves him for dead. You know what I mean?
And do you see who he left for dead? I think it was Boy Kennedy.
Was it?
Quick.
There you go.
It's quick. But see, right, sometimes, you know, we all want to start games. Sure, that's for sure. But I think football's changed. And I think maybe Wright has to realise, and to a certain extent, you've got Arfield now, that they've got their part to play, but it might be coming onto the park as an impact player in a time when players are getting tired, not just tired legs, tired minds, you know. And when somebody comes on like that with that pace, that trickery, you know, and so I think that's what we Scotty Wright. That could be his kind of role in the Rangers squad, that he could come on later on in games and have a real impact. And what he done yesterday, it was brilliant.
Left him for dead.
Top draw.
Do you know, a lot of Rangers fans only too happy with when they bring on Scott Wright, but I'm the same as you. I think yesterday was the right decision. I think against Celtic, I would have rather brought on Scott Arfield, but I'm no a football manager.
Well, the Celtic game was different because you're trying to see the game out. So, of course, you go with Arfield because he's a natural midfielder. You know, he gets forward, Arfield, he makes great runs, but also with that experience, just to sit in, he said, I tasted the games. But yesterday, it was crying out for somebody. Let's go to right.
Well, there's
and
Robert
again,
Dixon.
Who's you up against? Aberdeen. So
aye.
he's always going to have that wee bee in his bonnet, you know, and get that wee bit extra out of him. Yep.
Well, Robert Dixon saying Wright is one of those players that needs to get a consistent run to see the best of him, which is true.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he's going to get a start, but there is a role to play there. And that, whether that's 45 minutes, half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, as long as. But what happens is the players will recognise him, and you know, and he'll get all the plaudits for the guys in the dressing room.
I mean, imagine being a defender and you see him coming on running at you.
Well, exactly what Derek's saying. Like, that is using him to his best abilities. Imagine being 70 minutes into a game, you're knackered, and they bring Scott Wright on, and you're marking him. I mean, you're like, get this out.
Because that's what it does see. You're like,
exactly. You're 70 minutes into a game with Rangers. You know what I mean? You're knackered, then they bring on somebody that's going to literally run rings on you. So 100% I'm all for using players for their best abilities. It's the same way with Arfield coming on, being that impact sub. Like a lot of people, I'm a massive fan of Arfield. Would I like to see him start? Would he have the same presence in the first 20 minutes as he would in the last 20 minutes? I don't know. Probably the last 20 minutes is where you really want him. First 20 minutes, I think we've got enough in the team to hold people back, grab a goal if we can. If we're still struggling the last 20 minutes, we bring them on, bang.
Ricki Neill, also as well, and that's how you've got to applaud these guys, because they're not spitting a dummy. They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're prepared to come on. And if they get that 20 minutes, that half an hour, whatever, they're giving it absolutely everything. That's what you need. Because all too often you see it. Guys come on to the park. Who was the wee fella last season come on at Dundee United? The wee guy came from Man United. What's his name again? He come on the last 5 minutes. I was at the game and he totally wasn't switched on. It's as if he's gone, what you putting me on for the last 5 minutes? You don't get that with Arfield. You don't get that with Scotty Wright. When they're on, if it's for 5 minutes, boom, they're at it. What's that wee? Here's another one. Can we get a ticket for?
We're just getting all the tickets away here, by the way.
If I'd going back to the Sakala, it was actually Gerrard. So
so.
But I don't think that was a competition-winning question.
Was it not? Sorry, all right. So you can still buy your tickets by the Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster, the journey back.
That's it.
Sorry, but what were you saying there, Derek?
No, it was just about that. I just think it's so important that you're lucky to have boys like that, Because I was just trying to come up with an example, and that wee fella came in into my mind, and it was at Dundee United. It was getting into the last 5-6 minutes of the game, plus added on time, and there was a ball played to him, and he just wasn't switched on, and he wasn't at it, and he was done. And you could see the players, some of them getting frustrated with him, but you don't get that with the two guys we're talking about because they're at it.
And they know that can be
that's a full
chance.
Game. Aye, that's a full game.
But that can be their 5 minutes to prove themselves as well.
Well, look what happened with Arfield against Aberdeen. I mean, when they put him on about the 80th minute, he comes on, scores 2 goals.
How good was that?
Oh, it was one of the greatest films ever. Wasn't every minute.
And it's like, see, and I mean, I was watching it at home with my 2 boys. We were just dancing about that living room. But see, for that second half, we're dead frustrated. You know, and you're mumping, come on, and then you're dancing about.
Well, that's not hanging on. Look at Aberdeen yesterday. I think they get the last kick of the ball, and it was a chance. It was a shot. So they flung everything. And so they're always going to do that.
And that was Scotty that he should have just took it down the channel, took it a wee run, and he chose the wrong option, tried to cut inside. You know, just go on your bite.
So Alex Kelly's just given us a wee interesting stat online. He's saying, Ricky, you guys were aware we've lost the first goal in 21 games in the last year. That's alarming. And you know what? I don't normally bet, but every so often I put on a wee half-time, full-time, and I done it yesterday, and I thought I was going to win.
Right.
I would have won £240 or something, but that is quite alarming, isn't it?
So the last, what is it?
The last 21 games. Well, we've lost the first goal in 21 games in the last year.
It's disappointing, and it's something that they'll address and they'll look at. And that's what I would try to say to you. Like, was it last week as well? I'm looking for the full package. I want us to see us start a game, dominate it, and then, finish a game with a comfortable victory. I know I get it's a semi-final and everything that came with it yesterday, but what I'm getting, and it's no excuse, I'll go back to it. I just think that pitch was a leveller, and I think we're on a good surface. Because at times we did control it, but you're going to get a wee bit nervy as well, aren't you, Stuart?
Ball comes towards you and it bobbles, you're collapse.
Aye.
Look at the one that Barisic tried to shoot.
Oh, twice.
Aye.
Twice, by the way.
In the first half, I think, was it?
Aye. Twice he went on goal and the thing just completely went under his foot.
Right, I'm moving on now. Obviously, we've got the Old Firm again on the 26th of February. Originally, it was going to be a 7:45 kickoff. It's just been changed.
That's an odd night, by the way. That's me and you out for the full night, Derek.
It's just been changed to a 3 o'clock on a Sunday now.
That's an odd day shot.
Who said that was going to be? 7:45 on a Sunday night.
Aye.
That's ridiculous.
Just so that we can drink.
How can people get home? How can people are travelling?
If we win, I don't care.
Well, I'll go and stay your bit.
Or when we win.
Listen, that was always the thing. Like they changed the games to the Sunday to try and limit drinking. It's never going to happen. It's never ever going to happen.
Everybody just takes the Monday off.
Exactly, and they're out for the night before, half the people. So until the Scottish government realise it's never going to happen, you can play that game at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. We'll still be there. Steaming. Right?
They should do something like that.
That'd be great.
That.
Oh, talking about Scottish government, this is, I know it. No, but
this podcast changing.
Have you seen what they've come out with today?
What?
They're wanting to stop branding on pint glasses.
What's that going to do?
To try and stop people, so you can't advert. You get your Tennent's logo and you've got your Heineken logo.
It's a pint glass,
and they're trying to stop any kind of advertising for alcohol as well in Scotland. It's mental, isn't it?
Well, they tried to do it with the cigarettes. That didn't work, did it?
No.
That's bonkers.
Anyway, we're moving on to Old Firm, but Jamesy, he's saying we're moving in the right direction and fully expect us to do them in the final. Nothing to fear, no surrender.
Diallo, is that about your
Diallo? That is.
Diallo. There's a wee fella.
I'm glad you said that because I forgot how you pronounce that.
I
wasn't sure if it's one of these dodgy ones.
He didn't care. He didn't care. Did he get a winner's medal?
He's at Sunderland now, isn't
he? Is he?
He's
what, on loan or?
I'm not sure. I know I think he's at Sunderland. Saw a wee clip, but no. Listen, see, we're talking about the final as well. But nothing to fear. We know they're a good side, Celtic. I think we all acknowledge that. But last Old Firm game, they've got to take confidence for that. Controlling it for most. For a good hour. So 2-1 ahead. Should have seen it.
Should have seen it out.
We should have cleared that ball.
So the amount of games you would have won if you cleared the ball. Goldson against Frankfurt, mate. So exactly what Derek said. See, when it comes to Old Firm, you can't ever win it. Not win it. Sorry, you can't ever predict it. So I can't sit here and say, but listen about that. Listen, whatever it is, it is. Would
you like a couple more signings? to come in? Would you like some new faces? But the reason I'm going to ask you that, Stuart, is because you know, Ricki, obviously, is because Beale through the week says he wasn't too bothered about new signings coming in because he didn't want to disrupt the group. I'm kind of the opposite view. I would like to have seen a couple of faces coming in, a couple of new bodies, because it just keeps you on, because you're looking at your shoulder and you're thinking, by the way, I better step up to the mark here.
I've done a wee bit of research.
Good. For a change.
I was going to say, did you do something tonight?
I know. So Todd Cantwell, it turns out PSV are actually now interested in as well.
That's the boy I tell you.
Oh, is it?
That's the boy.
Oh, this might be an insider then. This might be an inside tip.
So that was Ibrox.
So you can tell us one then.
Without telling any names, I was obviously I can't really say any names, but I was at Ibrox today, and apparently it's a done deal.
What are you signing for?
Oh, I'll phone him when we get there. So apparently that Todd Campbell was getting done today, but again, I can't say too much. I don't know anything.
Well, he spoke about him often enough, didn't he? Beale, you know, in the press.
And Charlie spoke highly of him last week as well. So
he's a talented boy.
Another boy is this Morgan Whittaker. Do you know much about him? Swansea City striker. And they've already meant to put an offer in, but it's been turned down.
Right. No, I don't know too much, but I will
be
having a wee Google later on and
see what he's like. Get on YouTube. Right, we're nearly running out of time. Can you believe that? So I'll quickly do a prediction for the Kilmarnock game. They're currently sitting second bottom in the league, but as you say, it's a tough game, but it's on AstroTurf as well. But does that affect our players nowadays, do you think?
Aye.
Even though they train on it most of the time.
Look what happened to Stuart, you know, on that surface.
I forgot you played Bears.
But then there's a question. Would you rather play in AstroTurf or in that Cofield Park at Hampden?
I'd be the Cofield, to be honest.
Would you?
Aye. Big slide tackles and all that.
I watched Kilmarnock. By the way, Kilmarnock were good against Celtic. They performed really well. So if they play anywhere near that, you know, we'll have to bet our best. But I saw them a couple of weeks ago against St Mirren. St Mirren were played with about 80 minutes with 10 men, and Kilmarnock really struggled. But no, that kind of raised a few eyebrows. You know what they're capable of, and then there's Lafferty. He's got 45 minutes under his belt, you know, so he'll certainly start that game. He's a threat. I will just listen. We need to be at it as always, but there will be some players in that dressing room that will not enjoy the AstroTurf. So, but you need to. It's again, you just need to put that to one side, you know, and don't look for any excuses because it's a bit hard game down there.
Did you used to play football, Stuart?
I used to play with Paddy Thistle.
Oh, so you did,
Used to play with Thistle back in the day. That was my claim to fame. Played here a couple of times. But I was about 14, 15 and I gave up for a drink. Gave it up. And so that's it. I used to be a big centre half. You'll be John Lambie and Jerry Britton.
John Lambie.
You like John Lambie?
I love John Lambie.
He was a good character. We used to train down the Firhill Centre. Firhill complex. My first game was against Rangers at Murray Park. We get beat 13-0. So what does that tell you about my defending?
You're just letting them run past you.
You go back.
On you go,
big man. I can only remember wee bits and bobs. I don't know if there was anybody I played with or played against or anything like that at all. But I remember we played against Celtic. It was El Barrowfield, and Tommy Burns was their manager. I remember that, and he got hit with the ball. I remember that. But that was pissing himself.
Game hadn't even started yet.
I know. That was it. So I used to play party with Thistle.
Did you prefer Astro or?
So well, the thing was we played our games at the Firhill complex, which is Astro, and as a big centre half, big man, take a slide tackle with that, by the way, right up the legs, and there was nothing you could do. You were having to do it, man. But no, I always grass. You were taught to play in grass, so it's always grass, but it was always good playing here. I enjoyed playing here.
That's the thing with a lot of the young boys now. It's same with Stuart's saying. He's been brought up in AstroTurf, a lot of the boys now.
I was Ash.
Oh no, I remember Ash days and all, boy. Back in the school days.
I'll give a better one. Did you play in Black Ash?
Aye, I done that. Aye, steps.
Ash, and that was in Hamilton.
There used to be a Black Ash pitch in just next to Creason, I think.
So I know just somebody set fire to the place. Is that what it is? Back in the 80s, big one.
Crazy, but think about it. And then after the game, having to, you know, when you're slide tackling and all that, you had to get the wire brush.
Aye. Never got it that
bad. Did it just get one of those fetishes?
Well, no point if it's no Ash.
Do you know you're saying about fetishes here? Now you're saying about that Ash. I was going to say, did you have the Vaseline?
We're going to talk about
you're going to bring Vaseline into you.
He's going to talk about brown and white toast in a minute.
I know, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, by the way.
All right. I thought you were going to tell us your fetish story now.
No, I'll just leave it at that.
Right. Predictions in, Derek.
Of course, we're into a final, so the
No, sorry, I was talking Kilmarnock.
What's that? Aye, so I'm going to. We're into a final. That's what I'm
He's
trying.
leading on. He's talking about a bit of suspense here. Well, Ricki.
Because we'll take a lot of confidence. The boys are in a good place at the minute. So, aye, because of fancies, you know. But I want us to, and I'm going to keep saying it to be there. I want us to have control of this game from start to finish, you know, and do it with 2 or 3 goals, because the punters will be down there in numbers. So, put on a wee show for them. I think it could be 2 or 3.
Yeah. Stuart?
1. I'm going to say 1, because I never say. Like, I think we might concede.
After seeing those stats.
Aye. Listen, see when it comes to like any team in the SPL was playing against Elf Firm, they play a different game completely. I mean, you just say what Kilmarnock's second bottom, but they're there in a semi-final playing against Celtic, but they done pretty decent. So it's going to be the same. Rangers are going to go down to Rugby Park. It's not going to be the same game as like Kilmarnock against Motherwell. Kilmarnock are going to be hitting everything. They'll be 10 men behind the ball, constantly looking for the break. That's our biggest issue in this game, is trying to break those teams down. So it's going to be a tough one. Obviously, I'll take it. I always say that. I can never predict the score. I think that's one of the reasons why I've never won a bet in the past 10 years. But a win. A win's a win for me. A comfortable win, obviously. That's what I'm looking for. But I just don't want any more daft mistakes. I don't want to see us having, a wee bit how can I say it? Lackadaisical in the back.
That's a toughie, that one.
That's a toughie.
McInnes is obviously, his teams
Is
are
it not good one down there?
Good one down there.
He's always got them well organised, hard to break down. So we need, and which there's been a wee bit of criticism about that. I don't know if you agree, a wee bit more flair in our play, that final third. We'll need to find that in Wednesday night to break them down.
And enjoy it, like you said.
Just good. It's not to enjoy playing with the Rangers, playing for that following. You know, it's magic, nothing better.
So did you actually give me a score, Stuart? No?
Say it again?
Did you give me a score?
No. I says I'll take any. But if you're putting me up against the wall, I'll go for it. I'll take a Rugby Park.
He just says up against the wall.
You've got ash and Vaseline and all, and you're eating brown and white toast.
He's about to explode.
I'll take a 2-0. I'll take a 2-0.
I think I'll
take any.
You 3-1? I'll go 3-0. But I normally actually let them concede one, but I'm going to do 3-0 today.
That's not too many goals here.
That's that you come up with. That's
it's
unbelievable.
I'll maybe do more today. Home and away, half-time, full-time results. But he's up to anything this weekend. Well, you're rehearsing, aren't you?
Listen, this is my last week of doing promo and stuff like that until we're locked away and these rehearsals, getting these done. So this is the last you'll see me. Try to sort out all your refund stuff, so don't worry about it. It's getting sorted. It's getting sorted.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great wee night.
It'll be unbelievable. You'll massively enjoy it. It's everything that see a proper like. See when Rangers are winning away. Imagine what the party's like if Rangers are like 3-0 up against Celtic at Parkhead. That's what these parties are like. That's what these shows are like. So when we done the pavilion, it's just that full crowd is an away crowd when we're 3-4 up and about to win the league. That's the best way I can describe it. So this is what it's going to be like. That's what it's going to be like these nights, especially the night you are going, because that's one that's completely sold out now. I'm both terrified and excited of it's going to be deafening. Absolutely deafening.
Get wee Charlie to give you a heckle and all that so you can get one.
I won't even hear it, mate. I'll tell you that right. I know for a fact. See if I actually go see if I hear it. If I do hear it, shout it out.
We'll have a wee comeback with it. No, that's brilliant. What about yourself, Derek? You any gigs this weekend? Are you?
Nothing.
No,
quite quiet. I think January's always quite quiet, isn't it?
I know, I'm busy.
I've been trying to get the missus to take me away, but she's nah. So anyway,
just it's allowed to go and see Lewis all the time.
Aye, baby. How's he getting on then?
Very well, as I say, they won yesterday. So he's loving. Like they were playing Udinese away, so it was quite a hard game. But no, his girlfriend's here with his wee daughter. They're all settled. Carol Bear next week, I think. So no, he's enjoying himself. But again, he's always wanting to know how the Rangers are doing and all that. So, what about in the Ibrox bar? they put on some of the Bologna games.
You're saying that? That's brilliant, isn't it?
Because some of the boys were in going, what you get that game on for? And they just say it's a family friend.
Aye,
Just playing,
fantastic.
Bologna, so.
What bar's that? Ibrox bar.
Ibrox bar,
Tenerife.
Brilliant bar, aye.
So it's crazy. I've been to a lot of places, right? But see, when it comes to Spain, I've been to Seville. Been to Seville. I've been to Barcelona. I used to go to Salou a lot. I've never been to Benidorm. Never been to Tenerife. I'm missing out on all this.
You need to go to
Tenerife.
I'm missing out on all this. By the way, all these
Benidorm,
fantastic Rangers bars all over Spain.
the Ibrox bar in Benidorm is really good as well. We thought we nearly had a wee gig in there as well next year, so still working on that. But that could be good.
Excited.
So I'm trying my hardest to make all these connections so I can get over to all these places. By the way, I'll tell you that.
No, we could be your European tour managers or something.
Get it sorted.
Take the show abroad.
Definitely. Well, I was pleased to take the show abroad, but we're trying to talk going with that NASA. Do you ever go to that? Did you ever been to that?
I've been to Orsa.
What's that?
Twice, so that's Australia and all that, and it's amazing.
That's a great shout, Stuart. To take a show somewhere like that.
But that's what the full reason I wanted to do this show is because it's for the fans, and the fans aren't just in Glasgow. The fans are all over the world.
Correct.
And quite possibly the most fans that get a hold of me are the ones that stay abroad because they miss it and they don't feel connected to Rangers and really as much anymore because they stay so far away. So the main reason was to make a show was to take it all these places. So see your Australians and all that. I'm at a holiday, no mate. Right?
But you should see the amount of people, especially Australians, that watch this show, and then they message me at like stupid time in the morning because when they finally watch it and they're sending me in questions and all that, and I'm like, 4 o'clock.
I say a boy got a hold of me all day, so there's always people in Melbourne and Sydney getting a hold of me, right? But a boy got a hold of me, he's like, listen mate, can you bring over to Australia? I was like, mate, we're trying our hardest. He's like, I stay in Adelaide. And I checked it, so I googled it. Mate, see if you had to walk it. It'd take him about 2 years to get from Adelaide to he'd need to get a flight. He'd need to get a flight from Adelaide to like Melbourne or Sydney to come over and see us. And I was like, that's absolutely mental. How big is Australia? So we're planning on taking it to all these places, but it's down to how successful this show is.
That's a great shout to take it.
Oh, aye. Everywhere.
You could maybe like
everywhere and anywhere, big man. You know this.
I'll carry your bags. I'll look after you. So I'll get your drinks and all that in you want.
You could maybe just go over and produce it and direct and all that and get like Australian actors to put on a Scottish voice.
I've totally thought about that as well. So I've bought all this, so to see the set and all that, that's mine. I own it. So I can, it's my show to do whatever I want and take it everywhere and anywhere. It's getting these sets because they're big, massive things. It's getting them over these places, but if we make enough money with these shows and we've got enough money to play about it, then that's 100% in the cards. Taking it to these Australians, and then we can do this for the next 3-5 years. That'll be it. Right.
Well, do you know, I was doing the karaoke in Lounge 72 on Saturday there, and see, because it was the day before the semi-final, we had people from Fuerteventura, Belfast, Redcar, Sheffield, everywhere down in London. They all come up, and what a night it was, by the way. And see that, even I was telling them about your show, and a lot of them are going to buy tickets as well. So I'm in there again this Saturday, so I'm karaoke. In fact, we've started a new thing called Music Bingo. It's brilliant, by the way.
Is that the one in Uddingston?
Aye. So I'm there most Saturdays.
But I'll jump over.
And we've also, they've got a hypnotist on the 27th of January, a comedy hypnotist. So that's quite a good wee night.
Is that the same night you're on? This guy's going to be brilliant, by the way. This guy's going to be great.
Look into my eyes.
Are you going to get hypnotised?
I've tried it before.
It
didn't work.
I don't think I could do it. Aye. That sounds terrifying to me.
I've got a story. That's another one.
But see, like your wee story about your Rangers talk.
Aye.
We're having a wee buy and sell day in Lounge 72 on the 29th on the Sunday afternoon. So
there's no selling his talk.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying you could come along and there's going to be loads of like old strips getting sold and all that and old badges. You could bring some of your old photographs and that.
Aye.
Do you know? Have you seen that picture I sent you?
No. Do you know something? I've not got any in my kind of memorabilia. Any?
I've
got nothing.
What have you done with it?
I know. It's at my man's.
Oh, right, that's different then. That's alright for your top. You've not got it anymore.
Up in the loft somewhere. You know, sometimes I think you should maybe bring it out and.
Aye.
There's nothing. See, in my house, there's not a sausage, nothing.
I'd have that in the mantelpiece. I don't know. Your old bits right up there. A lot.
I know.
Honestly.
Too right. I'd be wearing them all the time.
You just hear me coming for the kitchen.
Anyway, I'm afraid that's us. And I was worried. I said to Stuart earlier, I'm a wee bit worried we're not going to have that much to talk about tonight.
Listen,
When you're
professionals here, professionals.
I know, I could have
Plenty
just
to
let
talk about.
used to talk about it. And brilliant. But once again, thanks to our sponsors. We've got Plugged In IT Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, ISG, Resin Flooring Specialist, and Giant C Architectural. And Stuart, I can't wait to see your show.
Thanks very much for that. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a pleasure.
How can we all get tickets again?
So the only tickets I left are for the Friday night.
They're all there.
Unless you're a pound, you get some of these ones, mate. Some of the real deal, some of the promoter camps right there. But so the only day we've got left selling tickets is a Friday. You can get them on Ticketmaster if you search for the journey back. They will come up, or if you go on my social medias, you'll see the link all over that. And let's fill this place. Let's go the same way as the Saturday. Nice. And get the place absolutely rocking for both nights. And then, as it says, we'll take it on tour next year. We're already in talks now to where we're going to take it around about the UK, but abroad is always that's the pinnacle, that's the dream. Super. I got a couple of weeks away in Australia, son.
We wish you all the best for all of the Gers podcast.
Thank you.
And in fact, we have actually got a spare ticket then, so maybe we could do that as a wee competition. You can come with me, Charlie, yourself, and Derek. Oh, you're Derek. Ian.
Do you get a pint in it? I know, I'll come. I'll take the ticket back.
Can you imagine? We don't want to be torturing people.
You kidding? I've seen what people are like when they were used to.
By the way, I will say, when I use sitting next to my dad, I did say that to him.
I'm looking forward to meeting your dad. You know
I says to him, I was like,
I'll be emotional for him.
Oh, 100%, aye, definitely. But I says to him, I was like, I'll sit you next day.
Just before we go, so what will we wear?
Oh, you can wear what you want. It's a Rangers event, David. Do what you want. You can come suit and boot it if you want, Derek.
No, I hate shirt and tie.
No.
But that's a good thing. Where are we going to go?
Bring the scarves, bring the flags, bring the lot. Aye. Listen, it's a full on. This is for the fans. There's nothing about this that is.
So it's just like going to a game, just where you've gone to a game.
Exactly.
Tap on a scarf on hat, whatever. Aye.
Imagine going to a big function.
A function.
Big function. a big secret, man.
So one of these ones that they do brown and white toast. Right, I suppose we better go off. I've been saying that for the past 5 minutes. But once again, thanks again, Stuart, and all the best for your show. And we'll see you next week at 7:30.